Recording in progress. Yeah. Going to share my screen to you. Yes. Is my screen properly visible to you? Please update. Is my screen properly visible to you? Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. Now, so let us start the discussion about the pending. First of all, let me clear you agenda of today. In the today's agenda, we have topic subquery because join is already completed yesterday. Apart from the join, group by, having clause, aggregate function, single row function, special functions, insert query, update query, DML, DDL, DRL statement, they are already done. So mainly if I'm talking about the agenda of today, so in the agenda of today, we will discuss about the topic of subqueries. After talking about the topic of subquery, we will talk about next thing that is called transactions. Apart from the transaction, then we will talk about indexes in MySQL. And after talking about the indexes in MySQL, then we will talk about one more topic that is called normalization. I'm expecting that we will be able to cover everything today smoothly because actually if I'm talking about the transaction, then in transaction hardly we are having some 7-8 queries. In indexes, we are having hardly some 5 or 6 queries. In the normalization, so in normalization there is no query. It is a kind of theoretical concept, but actually telling you that how to design a database properly. Subquery is not a difficult topic. Subquery is not a difficult topic. So far, whatever query you have written, if you are comfortable with them, then definitely you can use subquery very easily. It is not going to be tough at all for you. Normalization is definitely important topic, but normalization is actually not a tough topic. The only thing is that you just able to spot dependencies. Once if you are able to spot dependencies properly, then definitely there will be no problem for you. Next part. Next part. So let me start the discussion with you. And once I am opening the required PPTs and into the PPT, day number 11. Join part is already done. Foreign key part is already done. Now you can see if I'm talking about the concept of subquery, then in the concept of subquery, you can see that subquery is a query inside another query such that subquery can be written in select, from, having, and where clause. The second point to return is subquery must be in parenthesis. And the third point is subquery is executed first and it will be used in outer query directly, or its result will be used in outer query directly. It will be good to take some example parallelly so that you can understand that how exactly the subquery is working. So I'm opening the sheet that actually we have done already yesterday. Yesterday we have done with the join, and this time everyone, again I'm going to use the same table, the name of the table that is ST table. So just one time, let's say that I am writing select star from ST. Then you can see in the select star from ST, already 9 rows are available in front of you. Total number of columns are 5. One scholar is writing last 2 problems on subquery could be solved by subqueries only, may be possible. I don't remember the question. I didn't remember the question. Well, coming back. So first of all, the query is write query to view all records in the table ST. For this thing, already the query is written select star from ST. Now let us proceed question by question. If I'm talking proceeding question by question, then line number 462 question I'm pasting on chat. You can see here, you need to write query to find record of students whose percentage is more than the maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. The query is you need to write query to find record of students whose percentage is more than the maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. So here actually you can see the query is containing 2 parts. The first part is to find out the maximum percentage of all scholars who belong to Karnataka. The second part is that Once the result is available to you, then on the behalf of result, you need to write down second query. So if I'm talking about the very first query, then first query is to find out all scholars who actually belong to Karnataka. Let me split the screen. So question should be available to you. So let's say that if I'm writing the first query, in the first query, I'm writing that select maximum 10th underscore percentage from name of the table is ST. And here we are writing where state equal to Karnataka. So if I'm writing this query, then can you see that result is available to me, which is exactly 77.42%. And definitely it's a correct result. But now the problem is that query is not completed, because what exactly the query is telling? Query is telling that you need to write query to find record of students whose percentage is more than the maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. So maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka is 77.42. So if I wanted to get the second result, or if I wanted to actually fulfill the result of the query, then this time I need to write down that select star from name of the table ST. Then I have to write down where 10th underscore percentage is more than 77.42. So if I follow this approach, then one thing you can see, that's it. Practically you have to write down not one query. Practically, you have to write down two queries. In the first query, we are finding the maximum percentage of all scholars who belong to state Karnataka. We are getting the result 77.42. The result is 77.42. I have to keep this result, remember, in my mind. And then I need to write down the second query, which is select star from ST, where 10th underscore percentage is more than 77.42. So if we are actually solving problem in this manner, then definitely you will not be happy. Why you will not be happy? First of all, definitely in this case, human intervention is required, which is not practical for big application. Second, let's say that if I'm talking about a real-time application, such that in the real-time application, if multiple records are added in every second, some records are updated also, some records are deleted also. In this condition, if you are writing the first query, you are memorizing the result, then you are writing second query. So chances are there when you are getting the result of the first query, but before writing the second query, if some records are inserted, the maximum percentage from the scholar of Karnataka, let's say it is updated, then definitely you will actually end up with wrong information. So this approach of solving the problem is definitely not appreciated. Definitely this is not encouraged. Getting my point? Please update on chat. Hurry up, everyone. Everybody is requested to answer. Okay. Now, if we are talking about the solution, that's how exactly we can solve the problem, then I will say the solution is available with the help of subquery. So how to write down the same thing with the help of subquery? Then I will say you a very simple thing. You can see that select star from ST is as it is. But if I'm talking about where percentage more than 77.42, instead of writing directly 77.42, see here, actually I am opening the bracket. After opening the bracket, just actually take a look. I am doing one very simple stuff. The simple stuff that I am doing is, again, I am opening the bracket. After opening the bracket, select percentage from ST. Then again, we are writing where state equal to Karnataka, where we are writing state equal to Karnataka is what we are writing here. After writing where state equal to Karnataka, bracket close. After there, semicolon, and then I'm hitting enter. So can you see this time, actually, if I'm talking about that query, in that query, basically we are having two parts. Specifically, if I'm talking about that highlighted part, then this highlighted part is actually a subquery, or this highlighted part is actually a nested query. On the other hand, if I'm talking about this highlighted part, then definitely this highlighted part is actually talking about the outer query. Now, if you are going to compare both the approaches, in the previous approaches, you can see that we were writing the two separate query. Two separate queries are actually written at the different time. Because the two queries are actually written at the different time, So chances are there that in between when you are writing the second query, if some more records are added, then you may end up with wrong information. And second pointer is there that human intervention is also required. On the other hand, if I'm talking about the second approach, where I am using the concept of subquery, there actually you are finding that with the help of writing collectively one query, we are getting the answer. This time, no human intervention is required. Second thing, you will always get the answer based on the latest record available in your database. So definitely, second approach is always a win-win position. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. One more thing. If I wanted to write a subquery, then do I need to learn any additional syntax, or I am already using whatever I have done? Option 1 or option 2? I have to learn something additional. Option 1. Option number 2, whatever I have already learned, I am using that only. I am using only that one. Okay. Sir, if we have two records, show they select only two records. Yes, they will show two records, three records, whatever it is, no problem. So overall, the pointer is that to write down the subquery, you are not supposed to learn any additional syntax. It is actually very basic topic, very easy topic. Here actually you can see I have used where query. I have used the subquery with the where clause. And as you can already see in the PPT, subquery is a query inside another query such that the subquery can be written in select, from, where, and having clause. Next point is written here. Subquery must be in the parenthesis. Perfect. Third thing, subquery is executed first and then its result will be used in the outer query. All the 3 points are clear. Now one more point that I wanted to tell you. If I'm writing the subquery, then there is no such rule that subquery can be limited only up to one level. You can write down the subquery that is nested up to 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, 5 level. At whatever level you wanted to write down, you can write down. But normally nesting up to 2 level or maximum up to 3 level is sufficient, because later on the query will be turning too much complex to maintain. Let me come to the further questions. Into the further questions. One scholar is writing, if no student were from Karnataka, so what would be value in the parenthesis? It will be empty set and your query may produce error in this condition. Next part. See at the line number 463. In the line number 463, see the point. Write query to display name, comma, 10th percentage, comma, average percentage, comma, difference of student percentage to average percentage for all students. Read the query very carefully. We are writing, write query to display name, 10th percentage, average of 10th percentage. So by looking at this part, can we say that, sir, when we are talking about name, 10th percentage and average of 10th percentage. So definitely this time it is turning into the combination of non-aggregate and aggregate column together, such that name and 10th percentage. It is what non-aggregate column is. But if I'm talking about the average of 10th percentage, then definitely average of 10th percentage is going to be aggregate column. And those who attended and those who attended classes properly of yesterday. So I think you all remember that whenever we are talking about aggregate and non-aggregate column together in the select clause, then use of group by is compulsory. Remember, yesterday we had discussion about the same point. In the select clause, if you have used aggregate and non-aggregate column together, in this condition, use of group by clause is compulsory. Now let me go to the next case. How to write down such kind of query? First of all, this time no need to use group by, because practically we are not going to do any kind of grouping. Because if you read the language of the question again, then you can see write query to display name, 10th percentage, average percentage, and then there is one more thing available, difference of students percentage to 10th percentage for all the student. So by reading the language, it's 100% clear that, sir, actually we do not want any kind of grouping this time. So how to write down this query? Just try to understand. First of all, if I'm talking about finding the average percentage, then definitely to find out the average percentage, we need to write down select AVG 10th underscore percentage from ST. This is the one thing that actually I need to write down. Apart from this, I wanted to find out name, comma, 10th percentage also. So here actually the point I am writing is select name, comma, 10th percentage, comma, select average of 10th percentage from ST. Let's say that I wanted to perform the aliasing, and while writing the aliasing, I am writing ABG underscore percentage. After this, one more thing we wanted to display. We wanted to display in the query difference of students percentage to average percentage for all students. Difference of is average percentage to all students. So actually, I am writing the two solutions for you into the one solution. For example, let's say here I am writing as difference. Then from name of the table we are writing is ST semicolon. So let me copy this once. Copying, coming here, right click, copy, right click, hitting enter. It shows error because aliasing is actually not accepting it. Is just a minute, just a minute. If it is not accepting the aliasing, then not a problem. We can again write down this part here, copy, then coming here. One scholar is writing as is missing, but not compulsory. Writing as is not compulsory. Okay, this time, can you see? I have used subquery within the select clause. Yes or no? So subquery with the where clause is already done. Subquery with the select clause is already done. One scholar is writing, not getting. So just a simple question I am asking you. What exactly the question is demanding? Question is demanding name, 10th percentage, average percentage, and difference of students percentage to average percentage. First thing, if I'm talking about the column name percentage and average percentage. So let's say that if I'm writing the query, select name, comma, 10th percentage, comma, AVG of 10th underscore percentage from table name ST. You can see, hello, clearly there is an error message. Why exactly there is an error message? Because you can see in aggregate query. Actually, in the select clause, it is saying that non-aggregate columns name and address, name and 10th percentage is there, and non-aggregate and aggregate column average percentage is also there. Yesterday we have seen the rule that whenever we are combining non-aggregate and aggregate column together in the select clause, then use of group by is compulsory. So according to this rule, without subquery, can I do this job? Simple query I cannot write down. So what is the ultimate solution? The only solution is that we can use aggregate function in the subquery. So when I'm using the aggregate function in the subquery, then you can see what exactly we are doing. Select name, comma, 10th percentage, select AVG of 10 percentage from ST as average percentage, then definitely 10th minus something. So based on the demand, you have to understand how exactly things will go on. Similarly, if you remember, yesterday we were talking that whenever you are using aggregate functions, so keep in mind that aggregate functions cannot be used with the where clause. So for example, let's say that the question is available to you that you need to find out. Let's say you need to find out the name of the scholar who is getting the maximum percentage. So for example, that you wanted to find out the detail of the scholar who is getting the maximum percentage. In this condition, you will find if we are writing select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage equal to maximum of 10th underscore percentage and semicolon, then you can see the message is invalid use of group function. If you wanted to write down the same thing, then definitely there is a better way available using the subquery. There you can write down select max of percentage from ST. So this time, if I'm writing query like this, then definitely you can understand one point very, very easily. Directly, I cannot use aggregate function with the where clause, but using subquery, it can be done very, very easily. Clear or not? That's good. Okay. One scholar is writing, sir, why it is not accepting aliasing? Because actually select clause is executing in one shot. That's why. Because select clause is executing in one shot. That's why. Sir, why we do not apply group by? So cross question, why should I apply group by? Cross question, why should I apply group by? One scholar is asking, sir, is parenthesis required? So see here, second point, I have already written that subquery must be written in the parenthesis. Now next part, sir, what is the order of execution? Order of execution always remains same. Order of execution always remains same that we have already discussed. If you remember, I told you trick that from January we gonna have salary doubled. Okay, same thing is going to be applicable again. So in this query, which part is going to be executed? Just try to understand. Here actually we are having select and from. So first of all, from part is going to be executed. When it comes to the select part, into the select part, name is taken, 10% is taken. When again it comes to the subquery, again from is executed first. After the from, AVG is executed. So this is going to be always same. This is going to be always same. It doesn't matter. One scholar is writing, sir, please paste the query on chat. So query is available on chat for your reference. No problem in this. One more query that I have done. It is also I'm pasting on chat. So overall, by looking at this thing, it's very easy to observe that, sir, whenever we wanted to write down the subquery, then practically there is no need to learn any new syntax. Second, subquery is actually offering a lot of functionality whenever it comes to operating with the aggregate functions, particularly whenever it comes to mixing the aggregate and non-aggregate function, then definitely subquery is a better choice. Definitely subquery is a better choice. So two questions and their answer already written for you. Then going to the next part, write a query to demonstrate subquery in from clause. Line number 471. If I'm talking about the query, then the query is write a query to demonstrate subquery in from clause. So come here, see, there is one caution available and particularly it's written with the blue color. When subquery is used with the from clause, then a temporary table will be generated and this temporary table is not having any name. That's why it is mandatory to alias with the result of subquery with from clause. The table alias may or may not be used with the column names in outer query. This is point number one. When subquery is used with from clause, then a temporary table will be generated and this temporary table is not having any name. That's why it is mandatory to alias with the result of subquery with the from clause. So overall the pointer is that when I was using subquery in the select clause, then I did not did any aliasing or doing the aliasing is not compulsory. When I'm using the subquery with where clause, having clause, then again aliasing is not required. But the pointer is that when I am using the subquery with the from clause, then definitely doing aliasing is mandatory. Getting my point? Yes, it is. That's good. That's good. What happened, Mohammad Umair? Not getting writing 0 on chat. So this is the first point that is I have written. Then there is one more point available. If the column aliasing is actually done in the inner query, then alias column names. Then alias column names has to be used with the outer query. So let us take the example for more clarity. Let us take the example for more clarity. So what exactly it is writing? Write a query to demonstrate subquery in from clause. So let me write down one subquery. Initially, let's say that I am writing select name comma 10th underscore percentage comma email from ST. If I'm talking about this part, then technically can I say that this part is going to generate a temporary table such that in the temporary table, there will be three columns. First column will be name, second will be 10 percentage, and third will be email, and all the 9 records will be available there. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. Now see second point, what I'm writing. This time I'm writing here that is select name, comma, 10th underscore percentage from. After from keyword, I'm not writing any table name, but after from keyword, let's say directly I am writing this subquery. Directly I am writing this subquery. So this time, or let me change the situation. For example, let's say that if I'm writing select maximum of 10th percentage from select name comma 10th percentage comma email from ST where email is not null. So this time, can you see that result of one subquery I'm using somewhere else? Yes or no? Result of my select query is ultimately going to generate a table. Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's good. So right now, once actually let us try to execute this query. Once if I'm copying this query, coming on the MySQL console, after coming on the MySQL console, when I'm hitting enter, then can you see that there is an error message available? And the error message is saying every derived table must have its own alias. Every derived table must have its own alias. So this time, after looking at the error message, you all are requested to read the highlighted point. Once again, I am giving you some 10 seconds. Please read. Now is it clear what does the mean of this line is? Yes, it is Mohammed Humez or whatever scholar who was actually raising the doubt that not getting. So coming back here, coming back here. So how to actually improve this query? To improve this query, see, actually, can you see that I am giving a alias to the table that is generated here? I am giving a alias to the table that is generated here. So let us do one thing. I am copying this query, coming on the SQL, hitting semicolon. So I am getting correct answer. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Please update on chat. Whenever you are using subquery in the prompt clause, so it is mandatory that you should use alias name with the table name. Otherwise, your query will not work. And there is one more condition that you should actually try to understand. For example, let's say this time there is column 10th percentage. If let's say that 10 percentage column I am renaming to 10 underscore PER. After doing it 10 underscore PER, let's say that if I'm writing the query again and then I'm hitting enter, then can you see there is one more error message available? Unknown column 10th percentage in the field list. And it is very common sense based thing that actually, sir, problem is that you are generating a table from the select query, and the table that is generated using the select query, it is actually having three columns. The first column itself is name, the second column itself is 10th percentage, and the third column itself is email. These are the three columns that are generated here. And when three columns are there, so among the three columns, is there any column whose name is 10 underscore percentage in Roman numbers? No, definitely. So now again, come back to this pointer. Read the point number 2. I am giving you some 5 seconds. Make sense? What is the mean of this point is? Clear? Got it? That's great. That's great. So overall, the point is that if your nested query is saying that I have renamed the column name, then definitely whatever be the rename column name is, you need to use the same. Now answer is clear. Yes, it is. So here actually you need to write down 10 underscore percentage. This is the pointer that you should always keep into mind. This query I have already answered. You can see the next query, line number 478. In the query, line number 478, write a query to find record of students whose percentage is maximum among all scholars. Whose percentage is maximum among all scholars. So can you see this query? I have already answered this. See the highlighted one? Yes, it is. Hitting enter, and the query is available to you directly. So you can use, no problem. No problem, no problem, no problem. Okay. So how to use subquery with select statement? How to use subquery with from statement? and how to use subquery with where statement. This is done. Now let us go to the next example. If I'm talking about the next example, then you can see one thing. Write a query to find state and average percentage of all states such that include only those states whose average percentage is more than that of Karnataka. Question I'm pasting on chat. You can read the question again. Write a query to find state and average percentage of all state. So by looking at the first line, can we say this time actually aggregate and non-aggregate columns are together? And this is saying that find average 10 percentage of all state. So definitely use of group by is required. Yes or no? Yes, it is. And if I'm talking about the next line, such that include only those state whose average 10th percentage is more than that of Karnataka. So this time, can we say that first of all, I have to find out average percentage of all scholars who belong to Karnataka? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So overall, I am writing, let's say that select AVG of 10th underscore percentage from ST where state equal to, where state equal to, then we are writing here Karnataka. If I'm talking about this part, then definitely this part is going to give me average percentage of all scholars who belong to Karnataka. Query is writing. Query is saying, write a query to find state and average 10th percentage for all state such that include only those state whose average 10th percentage is more than that of Karnataka. So see here how exactly the query is to be written. I am writing select state comma AVG of 10th underscore percentage, definitely from name of the table is ST. This time we have to use group by. Grouping is always done on the behalf of non-aggregate column. So definitely non-aggregate column is going to be state. Thereafter, I need to write down that having whose average percentage is, so include only who, write a query to find state and average 10 percentage of all states such that include only those state whose average of 10 percentage. So this time again, I need to write down average of 10th underscore percentage is more than bracket open than this one. Is that clear, everybody? Please take a look at the query. Giving you time, take a look at the query. Okay, let us try to execute this query, copying this part, coming on the MySQL, right click and hitting enter and hitting enter. So for the sake of verification, let me write down first of all finding the average percentage of all scholars who belong to Karnataka. So average percentage of all scholars who belong to Karnataka, it is 66.71. If it is already 66.71, so by looking at the result, can I say that query is working perfect? Yes or no? If you wanted to again cross verify, then just see. For all the states, it's available. For all the states, it's available. For Karnataka, it is 66.71. Maharashtra, West Bengal, and Haryana. These are the only three states that are having average percentage more than that of Karnataka. Is that clear? Yes, it is. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let us go to the next section. Let us go to the next section. So overall, everybody, subquery can be used with where clause, select clause, having clause. When you are using the subquery with where, having, and select, then definitely no need to do aliasing. But when you are using subquery with the from clause, then definitely use of aliasing is required. Point is clear? Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's great. That's great. That's great. Take a look at the next query. The next query is talking about the table such that the name of the table is actually product. Name of the table is product and category. So let us come back to the table once. And I'm talking about the table that is select star from. Name of the table we are writing is category. Then we are writing here next thing, select star from. Then next point we are writing is product. These tables I have already used in join statement. What exactly the query is saying? Add a record to the product table with following data. Product ID should be 7. Product name should be snacks. MRP should be 90.00. Manufacturing date 1st January 2022. For category ID, it should be same as category ID of food items. So this time can I say direct value of category ID is not available. Using a query, I wanted to find out category ID for category food underscore item. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So first query I need to write down is select cat underscore ID from the name of the column is cat underscore ID. Yes. So I'm writing select cat underscore ID from category where cat underscore name equal to going to be food items. This was the first part that actually I am getting. Now, if I'm going to write down the insert query, so to write down the insert query, I need to write down insert into. What is the name of the table? Name of the table is product. Then I need to mention values. If I'm talking about the values, then in the values, first value is for the product ID, that is 7. Next value is for the product name. Definitely this is going to be snacks. Third value is going to be 90.00. This is for the MRP. Fourth is going to be for the manufacturing date. And you know it very well, date and text. Both values must be within the single quotation or double quotation mark. Finally, if I'm talking about the value for the category ID, then for the value of the category ID, don't you think that I can use the subquery directly? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So subquery actually can be used with the DML statement also, no matter whether it is your insert statement, update statement, or delete statement. So let us try to run this query. Right click, hitting enter. It says query OK, one row affected. Again, if I'm writing the query that is select star from product, then can you see that 7th number record is available where we are having product also? Yes or no? Here MRP of type integer for any fractional type. If it is 0.00, then no problem. If it is 0.00, then no problem. Okay, let me go to the next part. See, add a record to table ST with the following data. The data is that roll number should be 11, name should be PQR, email is going to be pqr@gmail.com, state is going to be Himachal Pradesh, and definitely percentage is going to be minimum, maximum, 10th percentage among all student. So again, same thing. If I'm talking about the 10th percentage, then for the 10th percentage, no direct value is given. So again, to find out the maximum of the 10th percentage of all scholars, we need to again write one subquery. Yes or no? Hurry up, everyone. Update on chat. Something interesting is going to happen in this query. Okay, so let me write down. Definitely to find out the maximum, I need to write down select maximum. I need to write down select maximum of 10th percentage from ST. This is providing me actually the maximum percentage among all students. If I'm writing the insert query, then for the insert query, we need to write down insert into ST. Thereafter, the thing we are writing is values, bracket open. First value is going to be for the roll number. Yes. Second value is going to be for the name. The name is PQR. And when name is PQR, it's working. Next value is pqr@gmail.com. And you can see it very, very carefully. pqr@gmail.com is written. Next value is for the state. That is for the Himachal Pradesh. But if I'm talking about the table ST, then into the table ST, you can see when I have written select star from ST, roll number, name, email, state is the 5th column. So definitely before the 5th column, I need to provide value for the 10th percentage also. And to provide the value for the 10th percentage, again, I can use the concept of subquery. Is that clear? Because when I'm using the insert statement without column list, then definitely order of value and order of columns in the table, they must be same. But see the interesting part, I'm coming on the MySQL. After coming on the MySQL, when I'm writing this query, and if I'm hitting enter, Can you see an error message? You can't specify target table ST for update in from clause. Error message is interesting that you cannot specify target table ST for update in from clause. Why exactly this happen? Let us try to understand. Come back to the PPT once. When you are coming to the PPT, so just take a look at the last pointer. The last pointer is saying subquery can be used with DML statement. Aliasing is not required if outer query and inner query is applied to different tables. This is point number 1. Point number 2 is, but if they apply to on the same table, then it is necessary to use alias in the subquery. Now getting my point, why there was error? So in case of DML statement, if your subquery is working on different table and outer query is of different table, then simply write down no problem. But on the other hand, if your outer query and inner query both are working on the same table in case of DML statement, then definitely aliasing is required. This is the overall point that you can see. That's why if you take a look at the query, in the query I have written insert into st values bracket open 11 comma pqr at the rate gmail.com bracket open, select maximum of 10% from st Himachal Pradesh. So here actually it is getting disturbed because your outer query and inner query both are working on the same table. Getting my point? So we have to actually perform the aliasing. So while performing the aliasing, this time, what exactly I am doing? Let's say that I am providing some different name S to this table. After providing a different name S to this table, and when I am inserting, then it is working perfectly. And if I'm talking about the next query, that is select star from student, select star from ST, not student. The name of the table is actually ST. In this condition, can you see that one more record is added successfully? Yes or no? Such that it is having maximum percentage. So again, same thing. Subquery does not have anything special, just slight concentration and some points just to remember. Rest everything you have already done. Rest everything you have already done. So this is the query that we have. Correct version. We have to perform the aliasing also. Next section. Next section. Write a query to find record of all scholars that whose percent I think okay. See, next question. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10% is more than the average of 10% of all scholars. It looks like that query is getting repeated, but why this is repeated? It is having a logic. You can see into the next PPT. You can see into the next PPT. The subquery that returns only the one row is called single row subquery, and the result of the second row subquery can be compared using operator like greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, between, and. So just try to understand. Let's say that if I'm saying you, I'm writing the query that write query to find out maximum percentage among all scholars. Or if I'm looking at the question, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than average 10th percentage of all scholars. So this time, first of all, I need to find out average 10th percentage of all scholars. Yes or no? And if I'm talking about the average percentage, then definitely the average percentage is going to give me only a single result. Yes or no? So can I say this is an example of single row subquery? Yes, it is. And definitely the single row subquery can be compared using the equal to, less than equal to, more than equal to, any comparison you can do. So this time, write a query to find result of scholars whose percentage is more than the average percentage of all scholars. So first of all, I'm writing here that select AVG of 10th underscore percentage from ST. This is one subquery that is going to give me only one result. Because this is going to give me only one result, so this is a single result subquery. Then what exactly I am writing? I'm writing here select star from ST. Then I'm writing here where 10th underscore percentage is more than that one. So once actually copying this query, coming on the MySQL console, right click, hitting enter. So if I'm talking about what exactly the average percentage is, just to verify the result, copying this query, right click, finding the average percentage. Average percentage is 57.60. So can you see that query is working perfect? Yes or no? And it is a single row subquery. Yes, it is. Okay. Next query. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to 10th percentage from the scholars of Karnataka, whose percentage is not equal to 10th percentage of Karnataka. Oh, so once the query number 513 is there, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to 10th percentage from the scholar of Karnataka. Let me see the next queries also. Write query to find record of all scholars whose percentage is less than 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. Next query. Write query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. Write query to find record of all scholars whose percentage is more than the 10th percentage of all scholar of Karnataka. See, well, come back. If I'm talking about this query, again line number 513. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to the 10th percentage from the scholar of Karnataka. So once actually, let me write down the query. Select star from ST semicolon. Please do let me know how many scholars are there who belong to state Karnataka. Let me do one thing. I'm writing here order by state. Two scholars are there who belong to Karnataka. So this time, what exactly the query is, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not a whose percent 10% not equal to 10th percentage from scholar of Karnataka. So first of all, I need to write down select 10th underscore percentage from ST. Then we are writing where state equal to Karnataka. Subquery is clear. Subquery is clear. If I'm talking about the total number of records that subquery is going to give me, it is 2. So can I say this is not a case of single row subquery? Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's good. So in this condition, see, the subquery that returns multiple results means actually more than one result. It is actually called multi-row subquery, and the result of multi-row subquery can be compared using in operator, any operator, and all operator. I'm talking about 3 operators. One operator that is called in operator, any operator, and all operator. So let us take the example of every operator one by one. All 3 operators once I have pasted on chat. Again, come back to the question. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to the 10th percentage from the scholars of Karnataka. So can I say that this time it is good to write down select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage not in this subquery result. Yes or no? Please check. Just read question very, very carefully. Then you will automatically get your answer. SQL is extremely simple. For accuracy, definitely you need to practice, and question you may need to read for 2 times, 3 times. It's possible. Right click, hitting enter. So you can see everybody is here, but a scholar from Karnataka is not here. A scholar from Karnataka is not here. Total number of records were 10. And let's say that if any scholar is having percentage whose percentage is equal to that of Karnataka, they will not be part of the result. So let me make one minor change. Let's say that when I'm writing this query, and this time say, for example, let's say if I'm talking about the state Odisha. For example, let's say if I'm talking about the state Odisha. Coming here, right click, hitting enter. How many records are there? Just 6 records. Because you can see for Odisha percentage is 33.00. So no scholar whose percentage is 33.00, it is part of the result. Getting my point? Yes, it is. We can make changes in even in the question also, so that you will get a better insight how exactly this code is working. Next code. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. So again, we are on the same boat. Why exactly again we are on the same boat? Because you will say that, sir, again, this time I need to write down the query such that in the query, again, I need to write down select star from ST where state equal to Karnataka. Where state equal to Karnataka. I think this is better. Okay. Again, this is a multi-row subquery. Yes or no? Again, this is a multi-row subquery. Yes or no? Okay. Now see here. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than. So this time see, sometime what mistake exactly scholars are making? One very common mistake that actually scholars are making, they are writing the query that is select star from ST where 10th percentage is less than. Select 10 percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. But actually just apply the common sense this time. If I'm talking about this query is giving me only single result or it is giving me two results. Option number one, it is giving me one result. Option number two, it is giving me more than one result. Which option you are picking? Definitely option number two. And definitely if your query is actually returning you multiple result and by mistake even you are using less than operator, then you can see the error message. The error message is that subquery return more than one row. So overall, less than operator cannot be used in this condition. Yes or no? Second number point, one scholar is writing, sir, use in operator. So can I say that in operator is just used to check equality and inequality? It is not used for any type of relative comparison. Less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. Yes or no? So in this condition, there is one operator available. The name of the operator is called any operator. The name of the operator is called any operator. So let me do the right click. Let me do the right click. So can you see that this time I'm getting correct answer? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. Practically, if I'm talking about the record, then you can see that select 10th of percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. So I'm getting two records. Yes or no? Yes, I'm getting two records. And when I'm getting the two records, so practically we can say that, sir, for the sake of understanding, the same query can be written as 77.42, comma 56.00. This query is something that is reduced by like this. Is that clear? Yes, it is. So it is saying less than any. Less than any means maybe less than 56.0 and it may be less than 77.42. So just look at the result set. Can I say that all the records whose percentage is less than 56.0, they are part of the result? Yes or no? Just statement by statement. Second, the record whose percentage is exactly 56.0, it is also part of the result. Yes or no? And the records whose percentage is less than 77.42, they are also part of the result. Take a look. Yes, it is. So can I say that less than any means less than the maximum value? Yes or no? So overall, this query is going to work exactly like this. But this thing is only for your understanding that how exactly the query is executed. This is only just to understand how the query is getting executed. Is it better? Just try to understand the verbal meaning. One scholar is asking, sir, will it always compare with max? So I will say if it is the case of less than any, then definitely it will always compare with max. Then it will always compare with max. Now let me go to the next situation. Let me go to the next case for the more clarity. Write a query, line number 531. Line number 531 is write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. So this time it is a case of more than. Again, state is Karnataka. If the again state is Karnataka, so can I say this time, sir, any will be as it is, but instead of using the less than, I have to use more than operator? Yes or no? Please check. Yes, it is. So overall, this time again, let's say that if I'm writing this query, coming here, hitting enter, how many records are available? So total number of records are available, that is 5. So this time, if I'm talking about reducing this query, then definitely you will say that the same query is going to be reduced like this one. Same query is going to be reduced like this one. So see, point by point. Are you able to find records whose percentage is more than 56.00? Answer is yes. All records are having percentage more than 56.00. Are you able to find out the records whose percentage is more than 77.42? Answer is yes. So this time it is saying greater than any of 77.42 or 56.00. So practically can we say that this query is going to be reduced like this one? Yes or no? Just go with the verbal meaning. Just go with the verbal meaning of the word. If you are good in grammar, then definitely you will be good in SQL. Or if you are good in SQL, then definitely your grammar will automatically improve. So it is actually, that kind of double benefit business. Let me come to the next case. The next case is write a query to find. Sir, one scholar is writing, sir, at the place of any. Can we use max or min? We can give a try, but how exactly? We have to give. Friends, we will try. Just a minute. Let me come back. First, complete this question. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of all scholar of Karnataka. More than the 10th percentage of all scholar of Karnataka. So just one thing, try to understand. This time I'm not saying more than any scholar of Karnataka. We are talking about all scholar of Karnataka. So the operator we have to use is all operator this time. Let me copy the query, doing the right click, hitting enter. And if I'm talking about Karnataka, then in case of Karnataka, you have already observed that we are practically having two records. If I'm talking about the practical two records, then definitely the two records are 77 point something and definitely 56.00. Now see here, do we are having all the records whose percentage is more than 56.00? Yes. Do we are having all the records whose percentage is more than 77.42? Yes. So this time definitely whatever be your maximum value, accordingly the decision will be taken. Getting my point? Yes or no? So this is actually what referred as the all operator. So always refer to the language, read the language very, very carefully, then you will automatically come across the answer. Overall, the mantra is that whenever your subquery is returning actually multiple records, then this is called multiple row subquery. And in case of multiple result subquery, you have to use in, not in, any, and all operator is what you are going to use. Finally, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of all scholars of Karnataka. So just you need to change the operator. You just need to change the operator. Just changing the operator, hitting enter, and you can see same logic is going to be repeated again because we are talking about less than all. So definitely less than all means less than 77 also, less than 56 also. So if it is less than 77 and 56 both, so ultimately it is going to be less than 56. Clear or not? Yes, it is. So topic of subquery is completed. If you wanted to ask anything in the subquery, your doubts are welcomed. Your doubts are welcomed. Meanwhile, I am scanning the chat. Lot of time, there is no doubt only one scholar has raised one experiment, not exactly doubt, this is only experiment. The experiment is that one scholar is actually writing one thing that can we use. One scholar is actually raising the doubt that, sir, can we write down something like this, that select star from 10 percentage where 10 percentage is less than somewhat like maximum of this one. One scholar is talking about this thing. So let me write down the query here, hitting enter, not working. Hitting enter, not working. One more case we can try. Let's say if I'm writing select clause here. Again, not working. So overall, friends, I hope you are getting your answer. Next point, sir, in the tomorrow's assignment, tomorrow, nahi, yesterday, there was a question in which we have to find the second maximum salary of the employee, but employee salary was attached to another table 2 bonus. But not all employee get bonus. How I can find? You have to use join and subquery together. In this condition, you have to use join and subquery subquery together. That is what you need to use. Well, coming back. So one part is already done. Now, there is next topic available. The next topic is called transaction management. See, it's a very, very easy topic. You will actually not find any complexity in this topic. Hardly 4 or 5 statements are there that you need to remember. What is the mean of transaction? Yet I have already given you brief insighting, but let's see. Say one person is A. The name of the person is A or capital A. Say A has received a check of INR 1000 from A, presented that check to bank, and then he thought soon 1000 will be deducted from B's account and it will be credited to A's account. But suddenly A thought, what happened if 1000 rupees deducted from B's account, but before credit, power failure takes place. Is that right? And how exactly DBA is going to answer this question, or how exactly DBA is going to ensure that your money is safe? What is the answer? Answer is transaction. So overall, the point is that either deduction plus addition, it should take place as a whole, or both operations should be cancelled. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So this is actually what called transaction. This is what actually called transaction. So a transaction is a sequential group of database manipulation operation which is performed as if they were single work unit. Means either all the operations will be, all the queries will be executed successfully, or the entire query set will be cancelled. Getting my point? This is what transaction is. So overall, the point is that, in other words, a transaction will never be completed unless each individual operation within the group is successful. If any operation within the transaction fail, then definitely the entire transaction will fail. And a database that is supporting transaction, it is having 4 properties. The 4 properties are referred as acid properties. Collectively, it is not that chemical acid, but actually the acid word refer to A for atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation, and D for durability. These are the 4 characteristics that a database must have whenever it comes to transaction processing. Now, what is the mean of atomicity is? Atomicity refer to the ability of database to guarantee that either all of the transactions are performed or none of them will be performed. Getting my point? What is the mean of atomicity is? Answer is simple. In the terms of binary, if the entire transaction is executed, it is okay. If half part is executed, then just do the rollback. Means either entire execution will be there or complete cancellation will be there. There is no intermediate situation in this case. There is no intermediate situation in this case. Second property is there. It is called consistency. The consistency property ensures that database remain in the consistent state for the start of the transaction and after the transaction is over. So what can be the mean of the consistency? Let's say that if I am talking about the previous example, when actually A has received the check from B. So can I say that the meaning of the consistency can be before starting of the transaction? What I'm writing, before starting of the transaction, A plus B, and after completion of the transaction, A plus B, they should have same value. Think over it. Before starting of the transaction, account balance of A plus B, and after completion of the transaction, account balance of A plus B, they should be same. This is what actually you can call consistency. Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's good. The thing is isolation. Isolation refer to the requirement that other operations cannot access or see the data in an intermediate stage during transaction. So see, same thing I have told you multiple times, that let's say if some record is getting updated, at that time, entire table is not logged. Only that record is logged. What is the mean of that record is logged? Means actually others are not allowed to access that record. So definitely this is something required as a property of transaction. If a transaction is updating, let's say 5 records, then during the updation or during the transaction, these 5 records must not be accessible to anyone. Getting or not? Yes. Execution of transaction should be in a kind of synchronized block. If you understand Java, then you can say that execution of the transaction should be within the synchronized block. So there must not be any race condition. There must not be any race condition. Fourth thing we are talking is all about the durability. If I'm talking about the durability topic, so durability refer to the guarantee that once the user has notified of success, the transaction will persist and it will not be undone. That means it will survive system failure, and that database system has checked the integrity constraint and won't need to be about the transaction. Overall, the pointer of the durability is that once the transaction is done, means it is done, then it cannot be reverted back after completion. Is that okay? What is the mean of durability is? Yes, it is. Simple. They are very basic properties of the transaction. Now see, if I'm talking about the queries related to the transaction, whenever you wanted to start a transaction, then to start the transaction, there is one command available. The command is called start transaction command. Once you have written the start transaction command, means now you can write down any number of DML statement, but actually these DML statements will be committed into your database only once you fire the commit or commit work query. Overall, the pointer is that whatever DML statement you wanted to execute within a transaction, these DML statements must be written within start transaction and the commit statement. Getting my point? I need response from everyone. Just 3 or 4 responses I am getting. Batch should not be driven by 10 or 15 students. Everyone's participation is anticipated. What I'm saying, whatever statement related to the transaction, definitely statement related to the transaction will be DML statement. Whatever DML statement you wanted to write down for a transaction, all these statements must be written within the start transaction and within the commit statement. Because after the start transaction, you are executing DML statement. The changes of DML statement is not permanent in the database. To make these changes permanent in the database, you have to write the commit query. Once commit is executed, means your transaction is done. Now it cannot be undone. Shall we take one example? Yes, it is. That's good. Actually, we have to take 2 examples. One example of rollback is also required for the clear understanding. But once let me take one example. So if I'm talking about the one example, so let me come back to here. When I'm coming back here, say we are having a table. The name of the table is called account. It is having following structure. The structure is TID, integer, primary key, name is there, account is there, email ID is there. So definitely if I wanted to create this table, then to create this table, I am writing create table account, bracket open, bracket close, semicolon. And here actually I am writing TID, integer 10, primary key, name, varchar 20, not null, amount integer, not null, email ID, varchar, and 50 is what we are writing. So copying this part. After copying this part, we are doing the right click, hitting enter. Definitely query is created and make following entries. Definitely to make the following entries, I need to write down insert into account. After writing insert into account, then we are writing values. After values, definitely you can see one is the TID, second is the name, third 4000 is the amount, and fourth is the email. So I can copy the value as it is here. Again, I can copy the value as it is here, and then you can see copy. paste, copy, and paste, copy and paste, copy and, oh, sorry, within the quotation. Okay. So two queries are there, semicolon is there, copy is here, then coming here, right click, hitting enter. Just one thing, select star from. Name of the table is account. Okay. So some setup is there that I have already done. Now see, say we wanted to transfer INR 1000 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account. Make sure that transaction should be atomic. Write query for this. Write query for this. So see, because the transaction is required to be atomic, so for this thing, the very first thing I need to write down is start transaction semicolon. Means I have notified to database that Mr. Database, I have started a transaction. In future, I can write down multiple DML statement until unless I'm committing the I'm using commit statement. Please do not make any changes in the database. Repeating my words again. Once I have written start transaction and semicolon, means I have notified to database that I am starting a transaction and I am going to write down multiple DML statements. Until I am writing commit statement, the database is supposed not to make any permanent change in the database. Getting my point? And it is giving me a facility that in between, if I wanted to roll back, then definitely I can roll back also. It is giving me a good facility that in future, let's say that if I wanted to roll back in between of the transaction, then definitely I can roll back. Now see, transaction is started. Say we wanted to transfer INR 1000 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account. So first of all, I have to debit 1000 rupees from the Dinesh account. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So to debit, I need to write down update. Name of the table is account set. Then I need to set amount equal to amount minus 1000. Where? If I'm talking about the TID, then definitely for the Dinesh, TID is 1. So first update statement is executed. Then second update statement is executed. In the second update statement, I am writing update account set. Amount equal to amount plus 1000 where TID equal to 2. So can I say in the first query, I am deducting 1000 rupees from Dinesh account. In the second update statement, we are actually crediting 1000 rupees to Jayesh account. Yes or no? Yes, it is. I have done with the transaction. I'm in the complete mood. Yes, everything is okay. If everything is okay, finally, I need to write down the commit query, then hit enter. And after hitting enter, if I'm writing select star from account, then can you see transaction is done successfully? Yes or no? Yes, it is. That's good. That's good. Just a minute. Next section. Next section. Say we wanted to transfer INR 500 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account. Use rollback to cancel the transaction. Use rollback to cancel the transaction. Write query for this. See, normally if you are not using the start transaction, then whatever DML statement you are writing, all the DML statements are committed immediately. If you are not using start transaction, in this condition, whatever DML statements you are writing, definitely all the DML statements are committed immediately. Getting my point? But when you are using the start transaction, then you are having option. You can commit the transaction or you can roll back the transaction. How to commit the transaction? Example is already taken. How to roll back? This is what actually we are going to take place. So this time again, can I say that first I have to use the start transaction command? Yes, it is. After the start transaction command, then because I need to deduct 500 rupee from Dinesh account, because you can see the question. Say we wanted to transfer INR 500 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account again, but this time 500. So use rollback to transaction, cancel the transaction. See, first thing, first statement executed. Oh, what happened? First statement executed. If I'm talking about the second statement, Then second statement is this time I'm actually adding 500 rupee to Jayesh account. So can I say that into the statement number 1, we are deducting 500 rupee from Dinesh account. In the statement number 2, we are adding 500 rupee to Jayesh account. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So finally, it seems that everything is okay. If I'm writing the query that is select star from account, then can you see it seems like the transaction is performed? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So I will say that it is your illusion only if I'm using rollback. After using rollback, if I'm writing the same query again, can I say that sir transaction is cancelled? So with these two examples, now I think you understand that what is the advantage of using start transaction, because after start transaction you are having option to commit the transaction as well as you are having option to roll back the transaction. But if you are not using the start transaction, then whatever changes you are making, they are committed by default. Getting my point? So overall, very simple. Whenever you are using transactions, so transactions are giving you opportunity that you can execute multiple DLL statements as whole. If you wanted to cancel the transaction, you can. If you wanted to commit the transaction, you can. So isn't it very easy? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Perfect. 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 One scholar is writing. See, this is a relevant question. What will be the status in between when start and commit when one updation is done and second updation is pending? See, what can be the case? For example, let's say you have started the transaction. First update statement is done. And then let's say there is power failure. Let's say your connection to the database is broken. In this condition, your transaction will be cancelled automatically. Getting? Yes, it is. That's good. That's good. So rollback should be between start transaction and commit. Well, okay. Let me come to the next case. Let me come to the next case. So you can see that to start the transaction, the following command is there. The name of the command is called start transaction command. Start transaction commits the current status and start a new transaction. It tells MySQL that the new transaction is beginning and statements followed by the transaction must be treated as a unit. To save changes made during the transaction, use the command commit or commit work such that work keyword is optional. Say you forgot to place the commit statement after update queries, then these queries will not have any effect on the database. Third point, during the transaction, if any error takes place, then definitely the entire transaction can be undone using rollback statement. The rollback statement cancels the entire transaction and put the database at the beginning point of transaction. Rollback statement has following syntax, that is rollback or rollback work. Both examples we have taken. One scholar is writing, can we use start transaction for other queries to rollback? Wait. First of all, everybody keep in mind, your transactions are applicable only for the DML statements. Means on the insert, update, delete. Always keep in mind, whatever DDL statements you are using, the DDL statements are actually committed by default. You cannot undo the changes that are done using DDL statement. Clear? Transaction facility is not available for DDL statement. It is available for DML statement only. And if you are writing the select statement, then definitely for the select statement, there is no logic because no changes actually made in the database. So there is no logic of doing any transaction. There is no logic of doing any transaction. Let me go to the next case. See, sometime it is not required to cancel the entire transaction. It is sufficient to roll back only a small portion of the transaction. To do so, we have to mark the save point in transaction. A save point is a marker in a transaction. A save point is a marker in a transaction that allow to roll back a database to the marked point. All changes made to the database after the save point are discarded and changes made prior to the transaction remain unchanged. Is that clear, everybody? So save point is very much like a midway. It is a kind of, you can say that in parts you can execute transaction, it's a checkpoint, you can roll back till that part. So definitely if you are having a long transaction, in the long transaction it is giving you an opportunity that instead of wasting the time of database, instead of wasting the time of yours, you can actually break your transaction into multiple save points and you can roll back to a particular save point also. It is very much like playing video game and in between doing pause, then again starting from the same point, or you can say that it is very much like doing context switching. Slight examples, not exactly analogy. Then how to have this thing? If you wanted to put a save point, then definitely the syntax is there. You need to write down save point, then name of the save point. Name of the save point can be any, it can be Kapil, it can be Arshad, it can be Masai, it can be any valid name. If you wanted to roll back to a particular save point, then definitely to roll back to a particular save point, you need to write down rollback to save point and save point name. Rollback to save point and save point name. So shall we take one example? Yes, it is. Okay. So take a look at the question. What exactly the question is? The question is saying, say we wanted to transfer INR 500 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account, then INR 10,000 again. Use rollback to cancel the transaction of 1,000 rupees, but transaction of 500 rupees should be committed. Read the question again. Say we wanted to transfer INR 500 from Dinesh account to Jayesh account, then INR 1,000 again. Use rollback to cancel the transaction of 1,000 rupees, but transaction of 500 rupees should be committed. Write query for the same. So one by one. First of all, again, can I say that I have to do the start transaction command? Yes, it is. First, I have to transfer the 500 rupee. So because I wanted to transfer the 500 rupee, so 500 rupees are debited from Dinesh account. 500 rupee are debited from Dinesh account. Now you can see that 500 rupee are credited to Jayesh account. Done. Next transaction is also to be done. So first of all, I have to place a save point, and to save point I need to write down save point. Let's say that name of the save point I am writing is S1. So can you see that first save point I have injected? After injecting the first save point, now I wanted to deduct 1,000 rupees from the account of Dinesh. Yes, I can. Now I wanted to credit that 1,000 rupees to account of Jayesh. Yes, I have done this thing. Now what is the matter? According to the demand of question, you can see what you need to do. You need to cancel the transaction of 1,000 rupees, but you need to keep the transaction of 500 rupee. So this time can I say, I need to write down that is rollback to save point S1. Syntax is rollback to save point S1. Do not use rollback only. Otherwise your entire transaction will be cancelled. Do not use rollback only. Otherwise your entire transaction will be cancelled. You need to write down rollback to save point S1. And after that, I am doing commit statement. See, initially, can you see before starting the transaction balance was 3,000 and 5,000. 500 rupee transaction is completed. So updated balance should be 2,500 and 5,500. Updated balance should be 2,500 and 5,500. Is that clear? Working? Yes, it is. So these are checkpoints that are available for you. Again, come back to the PPT. See, as we have already seen, sir, if we are not doing the transaction, then it always happens that whatever DML statement we are writing, they are committed automatically. And why exactly this takes place, or why exactly this is happening? This is happening due to auto commit. What is the meaning of auto commit? Just see, by default, auto commit mode is on MySQL. It means all SQL statements are automatically committed by MySQL. And to set the MySQL mode off, use following syntax, that is set auto commit equal to 0. That is set auto commit equal to 0. Making auto commit to off work only in a single session. Starting a new session will automatically set commit to on, because this is the default value of commit for MySQL. So command is set auto commit equal to 0. Let us come back to the discussion. If I'm again coming back to the discussion, then write query to demonstrate effect of auto commit. Write query to demonstrate effect of auto commit. So coming here, after coming here, let's say that I am writing set auto commit equal to 0 and I am hitting semicolon. Set auto commit equal to 0 and then I'm writing semicolon. And let's say I'm writing here insert into. What is the name of the table name? Name of the table name is account. I'm writing here values bracket open customer number 3. Name, for example, let's say I'm writing some other account balance. Let's say I'm writing 1500. Mail ID, let's say I'm writing azar@ms.com. ms@ms.com. Thanks for the correction. It is 3. And then I'm hitting semicolon. Okay. I'm getting query. Okay. After getting the query, okay, if I'm writing select star, it looks like that we are having 3 different records. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. Then do one thing. Let me close the MySQL. Using the exit command, I am closing the MySQL. But actually, just before closing the MySQL, let me do one thing. I wanted to see what is the name of the database right now so that I can use the same in the next session. The name of the database is select DB1. Okay. So I am exiting. After exiting, again, I am opening the MySQL command line client. Password it is asking. I am saying password is root. Then I wanted to use the database. Database is used here. Once the database is in use, then again I am writing here that is select star from account. How many records are there? So what is the mean of set auto commit equal to 0? Is that clear? Yes, it is. And right now by default set auto commit is 1. Right now by default set auto commit is 1. If by default set auto commit is 1, and then actually if I'm writing that insert into table name, what is the name of the table? The name of the table is called account. Thereafter values. If let's say again I'm saying this is 3, name of the person is Azhar, then I'm writing amount 1500. Thereafter I'm writing azhar@ms.com, then bracket open semicolon. This time by default auto commit is on. So by default when auto commit is on, and in this condition if I am closing my SQL, opening the MySQL again, and after opening the MySQL again, I am selecting the database, and after selecting the database again I am writing the query that is select star from account. Then can you see it's working? Yes or no? Clear to all how the transactions are working? So just a simple summarization I'm giving you. One scholar is writing I did not understood. One scholar is writing, sir, what is the use of it, sir? How transactions are useful? How transactions are useful? Well, once read this paragraph. Those who are asking how the transactions are useful, please read this paragraph. No auto commit off. What is the use of this? When you are doing some test queries, then it may be useful. If you are actually executing some test DML statements, then definitely, Arshad, it can be useful. Getting? For transaction, auto commit is off by default. When you are actually using start transaction, then auto commit is off. If you are not using start transaction, then auto commit is on. Then auto commit is on. One scholar is writing that I did not understand. One scholar is writing that I did not understand. So that person, Anas Sheikh, I have given you permission to talk. Please elaborate your problem.
Yes, I didn't understand what is happening. Like, why it didn't get updated in the when you exited?
See, what I did at that time, before inserting the record, I have set it auto commit equal to 0. What is the meaning of auto commit equal to 0? The meaning of auto commit equal to 0 means is very simple. Whatever DML statement you are executing, they will have no effect on the database. So at that time, what I did, initially I set auto commit equal to 0, and then I inserted one record. After inserting one record, when I close the database, so what is the expected behavior? Insert query should work or insert query should be cancelled.
It
When
should
auto commit is off,
be cancelled.
it should be cancelled. So same effect was visualized also.
Yes, yes, sir. Got it
And
now.
what is the default behavior? Default behavior, your auto commit is always
One. Yes.
one or on. So if you wanted to execute some test DML statement only for the testing purpose, then definitely this facility is useful for you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Any more
Got it
doubts?
now. No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Going to next part, but before going to next part, you people are actually facing too much heat. It's your break time. See you at 8 past 13. Okay. Shall we start again? Yes, it is. So in the slide, you can see it very well that making auto commit off has no impact over DDL statement. They are always committed by database automatically. So please never try to add a column for testing purpose using transaction. Never try overall. Okay. So out of the 4 topics, 2 topics have been completed. The first topic that we have completed is very simple. It is subquery. No additional knowledge is required. Second small topic is transaction. Now I'm going to third topic. Again, I think the smallest topic of the day, just 4 or 5 queries. The topic is called index. Okay. You all are comfortable with primary key and unique key? Yes or no? You all comfortable with primary key, unique key? Yes or no? I am expecting flamboyant responses, but still some limiteds are there. Okay. So see, just opening the PPT, and from that PPT, I think this is done. Yeah, day number 11 PPT it was. So day number 12 PPT it is. See here. If I'm talking about the index, then just assume a simple situation. Or let's say even if I'm talking about the table, such that the name of the table is ST. If I'm writing here, select star from ST semicolon. So this time, can we say a simple thing? That's a, if we are talking about the roll number, then definitely roll number is working as a primary key. Yes or no? If I'm talking about the email, then email is working as a unique key. Yes or no? Okay. So it is guaranteed that roll number is going to be unique. So definitely if somebody or some student is being searched on behalf of their roll number, then definitely searching is going to be very fast. Yes, it is. Similar to that, because email ID is also unique, and on the behalf of email ID, if the searching is performed, then again searching is going to be very fast because it is a kind of unique record. Yes or no? Yes, it is. But let's say that if I'm talking about the searching is going to take place on the behalf of name, the name is neither a primary key, name is not a unique key. So in this condition, definitely you will say that, sir, let's say if we are having 10,000 scholars, means we are having 10,000 records, and if the searching is done on the behalf of name, then in the worst case, possible chances are there that all the 10,000 records should be scanned. Yes or no? So don't you think that it is very much like a linear search where complexity in the worst case is big O n? Yes, it is. Okay. Did you remember set in Java where duplicate elements are not allowed? Yes, it is. Did you remember priority queue in Java where duplicate elements are also allowed? Yes, it is. Okay. So keep in mind, if you are doing searching on the behalf of each individual element, then definitely for the 10,000 records, if you are going to search for the 10,000 elements, then your database is going to give you very poor performance, and ultimately performance of your website is going to be very, very poor. And definitely nobody wanted to interact with such kind of website. Nobody wanted to deal with such kind of database. So do we are having any solution? My answer is yes. The solution is index. The solution is index. So overall from this discussion, can we say that if a column is declared as index, then definitely searching time for this column is going to be reduced too much? Yes or no? Yes, it is. If you are applying an index of on a column, then definitely the searching time is going to be reduced too much. Okay, so just try to understand how exactly this is happening. In the collection framework, when I was talking to you about the set, then I told you one concept of binary search tree. In the concept of binary search tree, I told you all elements of the left hand side should be smaller, all elements on the right hand side should be greater, such that if you are going to search an element, then definitely after every comparison, your input set is going to be reduced by half. Remember? And that's why it is giving you very good searching performance, but definitely insertion and deletion is slightly complicated. Remember? Same thing is applicable in database also. Whenever you apply index on a column, then all the values of that column are arranged in the form of binary tree, or this is called actually B tree. In the B tree, duplicate elements are allowed, but overall the pointer is that can we say that if some elements are arranged in the tree format, then definitely searching is going to be improved significantly? Yes or no? But definitely if you are inserting a new value, then definitely a lot of adjustment could take place for the deletion. Again, lot of adjustment could take place. So can we say that again, this is a not win-win situation? It is depending on the requirement. If you are having more read query but less write query, then definitely it is better to use index, because your ultimate target is to increase the search performance. If I'm taking example of, let's say, Amazon, Flipkart, then definitely less insert operation are there, but too much read operations are there. So in this condition, can we say that use of index is recommended? Yes, it is. That's great. That's great. That's great. Now the question arises that, sir, how to apply the index? So see here in the chat, in the PPT. An index is a data structure such as B tree that improve the speed of data retrieval on a table at the cost of additional write and storage to maintain it. The query optimizer may use index to quickly locate data without having to scan every record in a table for the given query. And here actually you can see, if we are talking about the primary key and the unique key, they are already termed as indexes. Primary key and unique key, they are already indexes. So did you remember when I was talking about the dropping the unique key constraint, then the query was alter table, table name, drop index, constraint name. Anybody remember this query? Alter table, table name, drop index, constraint name. So keep in mind, whenever you are creating a unique key, actually you are creating an index. Similar to that, whenever you are creating a primary key, again actually you are creating an index. So primary key is also an index, unique key is also an index, and third type of index is also there, that is actually called simple index or normal index. That is called normal index or simple index. What is the mean of normal index or simple indexes? We are going to take example of the same. But first, index can be applied on a single column or combination of more than one column. Yes, it is. By default, MySQL create the B tree index if you do not specify any particular index type. How to specify the index using create table? So you can see create table. T means table name, column name, data type constraint, column name, data type constraint. So finally, can you see index bracket open, column name 1, column name 2, and so on? Yes or no? So isn't it very much like a table level constraint? We have applied in case of foreign key also. Yes, it is. So same way it is applied, but index is not a constraint. Index is not a constraint. If your table is already ready-made available to you, and then if you wanted to create the index, then definitely you can create also. no alter statement. This time if I'm talking, then definitely this is create index name on table name, bracket open, column list. Name will be given automatically if you do not specify, but better if you specify. If you wanted to see the existing table on the index, then to see the existing table on the index, query is show index from table name. Show index from table name. Finally, to drop the index, alter table name, drop index name. So lot of discussion is done. Shall we take example? It will be good for more clarity. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm coming to example. See, write query to show indexes on table ST. Write query to show index on the table ST. So did you remember the query is show index on table name? What was the query? Just a minute. Maybe I'm making mistake. Show index from, sorry, not on. Show index from ST. Hitting enter and once make it maximized. Okay. Is it already giving you two indexes? One for primary key and second for unique key, that is email. One for primary key and second for unique key, that is email. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. So if I'm talking about first attribute non-unique, so definitely non-unique is 0 for primary because primary is unique. Non-unique is 0 for email because email is already unique. Okay, so two indexes are available there. If I'm talking about the name column, then definitely you can see that on the name column, there is no index so far. There is no index so far. According to this principle, let's say if I'm writing select star from ST, where name equal to, let's say I'm picking the random name AED. Total number of records available in the table are 9. So definitely 9 or 10. So all the 10 records will be scanned. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So to make sure how many records are scanned, just use explain word before the select query. Just use explain word before the select query. Now see the result. When I'm using explain word before the select query, I'm not getting the result, but I'm getting a different table that is showing how many records are scanned. 10. So can I say that even to fetch a single record, all the 10 records are scanned? Yes or no? Yes, it is. If it is having 10,000 records, then definitely your performance is going to be deteriorated too much. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So now query to find number of records scanned by database to search with the scholar AED. This is done. And we have seen that, sir, all the 10 records are scanned. Let us come to the third query. The third query is write query to create index on name on table ST. So see, table is already created. And if I wanted to create a new index, then do I need to use that statement? Create index name on table name, bracket open, column list. No alter statement. So I wanted to create index on the column name. So what I'm writing? Create index. Name of the index, let's say I'm writing ind underscore name. You can put any name, no problem. After this, then I'm writing on what is the name of the table. Name of the table is st. On which column I wanted to apply? I wanted to apply index on the column name, and I'm hitting enter. Again, I'm writing explain select star from st where name equal to aed and hitting enter. Take a look. How many records are scanned? So can you observe the difference by applying the index in the terms of performance? Yes, it is. So can we say that index is very much beneficial in the terms of searching operation? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So simple topic, small topic, you just know what is the purpose, how to apply. Again, if you wanted to see the list of indexes, then again we need to write down show index from ST. Previous time when I written show index on ST, how many records were there? 2. Now how many records are there? 3. So one more index is created. Yes or no? So overall, That's all for your index topic. Easy and beneficial, yes or no? One scholar is asking, what is filtered? One scholar is asking, what is filtered? What is filtered? Today, attendance is comparatively low. We are having only 72 scholars. Might be they are celebrating Saturday. Yes, Shubham Bhatti, I am not getting your doubt. I have given you permission to talk.
Yes, sir. On second table, last second table, there
Second
is a
last table is this one,
column.
no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
There
So
is a
you are asking what is filtered?
yes, sir.
What is filtered means
Column.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, actually, first of all, we don't have to think too much about this column, but you can see actually in the filtered 10.0 means actually if I'm talking about overall ratio. So for one record, we have to scan 10, yes or no? Previous
Yes.
case. This time for one record, I have to scan on how much record? Only one.
One.
So success rate is kind of 100%.
Yes.
But nobody is going to ask you that thing. Only normally. If I'm talking about the criteria, so criteria is how many rows are actually scanned to find out the result. And main thing is that how exactly index is changing. Index is internally changing the storage structure of your column.
Yes.
Internally, it is changing the storage structure of your column. Last time it was very much like a list, but right now, after applying the index, it is arranged in the form of a binary tree. So definitely, if you have seen the mechanism of hashing also, again, it is all magic of data structures. Okay.
Yes.
Now, so index topic is also done. Let me come to the notepad file if any query is pending. What is the mean of AED? My God. Mohammad Rizwan, you are asking what is the mean of AED? These are the name of the scholars. Any mean you can create according to your own choice. For us, it is name only. So coming back. Write query to show the indexes on the table ST. This is done. Write query to find number of records scanned by database to search scholar with AED done. Write query to create index on name is done. Then last two query were repeat. They are also done. Don't worry. A sheet with the solution will be provided to you like I used to upload on the daily basis. Check for the day number 10, day number 11, day number 12. And apart from that, there is additional day is also created. Keep checking all the four. All the records are available there. Why I am telling you? Because some are not aware. And one scholar is demanding the previous notes also that are already available on your course platform. So please, you can check from there. Shall we go to the next topic and the final topic of the day? Yes, it is. Final topic of the day is all about normalization. See, normalization is actually very easy topic if you understand it well and if you listen very, very carefully. I'm giving you some example. With the help of example, you will be able to understand it very, very clearly. First of all, everybody, font size is clear? Yes or no? Can you see there is one table available? The name of the table is called actually student and exam. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. In the student and the exam table, first is student ID, second is student name, third is stream, fourth is exam name, fifth is maximum marks, result date, headquarter, and description. By looking at this table, can we say that student and exam information about both the entities is stored in the same table? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. So here one table structure is there. For this table structure, let me give you some task. For example, if I'm talking about the first task, in the first task, I'm saying you that I wanted to change maximum marks for NEET exam from 720 to 800. So this time, can I say that I need to use update query? Yes or no? Second point, can I say that practically when I wanted to update only one information, then just to update one information, multiple records are getting updated? Yes, it is. So overall, do you find this practice useful? You wanted to update only one information, but in your database, multiple records are updated. No, nobody wanted to have it. And this kind of problem is actually referred as updation anomaly. This kind of problem is actually referred as updation anomaly. When just to update a single information, you are actually going to update multiple records together. And right now, actually, I'm having only 5 records. What if we are having 10,000 students? Among the 10,000 students, let's say we are having 800 students who are actually fighting for NEET. Then just to update the maximum score of the NEET, we have to update 800 records. Definitely, this is going to actually too much time consuming. Performance is going to be very low, and database operation is somewhat, you will say, oh, it's difficult to manage, or it's very, that's slow and painful. Let me go for the second operation. The second operation I am saying that, let's say we are having a student Usman. Let's say we are having a student Usman who is fighting for CA. And what I'm saying, Usman says, no, I do not want it to go for any exam. Please delete my data. Usman is saying, I do not want it to fight for any exam. I wanted to join my family business. I do not want it to appear in any exam. Please delete my data. In this case, you will actually go for the delete query. Yes or no? And if you delete record of Usman, then don't you think that information about CA exam will also be eliminated if there is only one student? If there is only one student, Usman, and let's say if Usman withdraw, so in this condition, definitely all all information about the CA exam will also be eliminated. And if all information about CA exam will also be eliminated, so it is very easy to say that, sir, deletion of one information actually lead to deletion of another type of information. Yes or no? This time, deletion of one information actually lead to deletion of another type of information, and this is what actually referred as deletion anomaly. Clear or not? Clear it is? That's good. Again, I am giving you one more situation. Let's say there is one more scholar. The name of the scholar is Kapil. And Kapil says that I wanted to give some exam, but I don't know what exam I wanted to give. So this time, if you are adding the record of Kapil, then might be possible for exam name, maximum marks, result, headquarter, and description. You have to write null value, or you have to add some bogus value. Yes or no? So can we say that actually when you are adding some information, so to add first information, you have to actually provide some different meaningless information also, or maybe possible, let's say that Kapil is saying that I wanted to qualify for JEE. Then you will say, sir, information about JEE will be duplicated again. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So this kind of problem is actually referred as insertion anomaly. This kind of problem is actually referred as insertion anomaly. So overall, the problem is that if I'm talking about all the 3 types of anomalies, then definitely all the 3 types of anomalies are ultimately going to, that deteriorate, or you can say that completely put your performance of the database in the sink. Yes or no? It will sink the performance of the database overall. And definitely lot of inconsistency will be there because records are getting too much duplicated. And definitely there is simple logic. If there is redundancy, then there will be inconsistency. Yes or no? Okay. So far, by showing you this table structure, I told you 3 types of anomalies. The first type of anomaly, I told you updation anomaly. Second type of anomaly is actually called insertion anomaly. And third type of anomaly is called deletion anomaly. Let us come back to the PPT. In the PPT, you can see that if I'm talking about the insertion anomaly, so we are talking about adding fake or repeated entries to maintain some information, and definitely it leads to data inconsistency. Second is updation anomaly. To update a small information, one has to update multiple records. Third is called deletion anomaly, and the deletion anomaly says that deletion of one information leads to deletion of another type of information. All the three types of anomalies we have already witnessed. And would you love to fight with such kind of database that is having such anomalies? Definitely nobody wanted to actually have the same thing. What can be the possible solution? If I'm talking about the possible solution that I have created, can you see previously student and exam information, they were available in the same table. Now I have created three different tables. Among the three different table, first table is student. In the student table, student ID and student name is maintained only. In the second table, exam, information about exam is maintained only. And third table is also available. The name of the third table is called student exam table. In the student exam table, student ID and exam ID is there. So by looking at this table, can I say that student Ramesh is fighting for NEET? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Can I say that the student Usman and Joseph, they both are fighting for the exam CA? Yes or no? Data is slightly changed, but overall just focus on the theme. So now this time, again, I am saying you, first of all, let's say that I wanted to update the maximum marks of NEET exam from 720 to 750. How many records do I need to update? Only one. And definitely when only one record is to be updated, then can we say that this is all about removal of updation anomaly, or updation anomaly is removed? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Look at the second point. If I'm saying that I wanted to add a new student couple who is still unclear that which exam is to fight, so definitely I can add the information about that student in the student table. No need to add any bogus information about the exam, and no need to add any bogus information in the table student exam. So can I say that updation anomaly is insertion anomaly is also removed? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Perfect. Let's say I'm having one exam, and let's say that name of exam I am having, let's say IAS. Let's say I am adding one more entry. The name of the entry I am writing is, let's say, E005. Name of the exam stream. Let's say I am writing all exam name. We are writing UPSC. UPSC. It is going to be exam for IAS, whatever be the detail. If let's say that this exam does not have any participant, and say if I wanted to delete information about this exam, then can you say that there is no loss of any other information? Yes, it is. So can I say this time, actually, if I'm talking about the deletion anomaly, then definitely deletion anomaly is also eliminated? Yes or no? Because when I'm deleting one information, so second information is not going to be deleted. Or can we say that, let's say if I'm saying that Usman wanted to withdraw, or Usman says that no, I do not wanted to continue with CA, I wanted to go for my family business, then we will say no problem, just delete the entry of the Usman from this table, as well as remove his entry from this table also. Still information about the CA exam is available? Yes or no? Later on that Joseph also decided I wanted to go for UPSC. No problem, Joseph. Your record is there. And if we are making updation here also, still there is no problem. Information about Commerce CA exam will be available. Yes or no? So is it clear that if I'm creating a better table structure, then definitely insertion anomaly, updation anomaly, and deletion anomaly, all three can be kind of eliminated? Yes or no? So simple logic, which option would you love to go with? Option number one, only one table, and option number two with the three table. Yes, it is. That's good. Option number two is definitely a better choice, because option number two is giving you accurate information. There is no duplication, or you can say practically there is very less duplication. because there is very less duplication. So definitely there is very less redundancy. Less redundancy means less inconsistency, and less inconsistency means you will have better quality of data. This is the main thing that actually everybody wanted to achieve. On the other hand, if I'm talking about the anomalies are entries, one scholar is asking, anomalies are entries. My dear scholar, please watch the recording again for last half an hour. You will understand everything, because repeating everything is not possible now. Next point. So I was telling you, see, if you are actually decomposing the table into multiple parts, then there is one disadvantage. The disadvantage is that complexity of your database is increased, and definitely to fetch the information, you have to use n number of joins. Yes or no? You have to use n number of joins. So definitely expertise is required. A person is required to be more, you can say that, equipped with the SQL, he is having good brain, he is having flexibility, he must know good SQL. But overall in the balance sheet, if I'm talking about the final total, then definitely in the final total, second approach is actually a clear win with a huge margin. So can you see that we must understand that how to? First of all, we have already come across the situation that in a poorly designed database, there is insertion anomaly, updation anomaly, and deletion anomaly. And in a poorly database design, definitely ultimately you are going to either lose the information or you will never be able to get the accurate information. If we are using decomposed table, then definitely decomposed tables are better. But now the question arises that, sir, how to decompose the table? Is there any fixed formula? Is there any guideline regarding this? I will say yes. This guideline is what actually referred as normalization. This guideline is what actually referred as normalization. So see here, a well-structured relation is a relation which contains minimum data redundancy and allow user to insert, delete, update rows without causing data inconsistency. To create such table, normalization is used. Caution: using normalization, it is not guaranteed that redundancy and anomalies will be eliminated completely, but they can be minimized. So summarization is, when we are actually using normalization, then definitely complexity and access time is going to increase, but redundancy and anomalies, this is going to decrease. So normalization is a solution, but practical thing is that we cannot guarantee that there will be 100% no redundancy. Overall, the point is that we can minimize the redundancy, and whatever be the minimum redundancy is, definitely then we can operate. Yes or no? So what is the mean of normalization? Can we say that normalizations or the target of normalization is to remove all the anomalies and minimize the redundancy? Yes or no? And a normalized database is going to give you better information? Yes or no? And a normalized database is slightly complicated to operate? Yes or no? So these are the some pointers available to you. Whenever we are talking about normalization, so to make the understand about the normalization, first thing you must understand what is the mean of candidate key is. The very first thing that you must understand what is the mean of candidate key is. So if I'm talking about the candidate key, so regarding the candidate key, for example, let's say that if I am talking about a table, let's say if I'm talking about a table to you, let's say that name of the table I am writing is employee. Here into the employee table, I am having employee ID. After the employee ID, for example, let's say we are having email, then we are having name, then we are having mobile number also. Apart from that, we are having salary. By looking at this table very clearly or very consciously, you just come across one thing, that sir, if we are talking about the EID, then definitely EID is going to be a primary key. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Perfect. Second number point, can we choose email ID as the primary key also? Because anybody can assume that an employee is having an email ID. Every employee is having email ID, so definitely email ID can be chosen as a primary key. Second point, if I'm talking about the mobile number, then definitely whatever be the first only registered mobile number, can it be used as Again a primary key, yes or no? Yes, it is. So this time, can I say that we are having multiple candidates for the primary key such that only one is to be chosen? Yes, it is. So I will say EID is the primary key as well as candidate key. Email is candidate key. Mobile number is candidate key. By looking at this discussion, can we say that candidate key is also used to uniquely identify a record in the table? Yes, it is. Simply we can say that the candidate key is also used to identify a record in a table, and from the all possible candidate key, any column or any combination of column can be chosen as a primary key. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So always keep in mind, candidate key is a theoretical concept. In the database, if you are asking, sir, how to create a candidate key, then I will say you cannot create a candidate key in a database practically, because candidate key is a column that is used to uniquely identify a record in a table. And in a table, there can be multiple candidate keys. If you are asking about the practical implementation of candidate keys, then I will say that the practical implementation of candidate keys is primary key itself, such that your table can have only one primary key. Clear or not? Clear it is. So once just going by this discussion, once I'm pasting the table structure on the chat. So table structure is available here. And now please take a look at the difference between the primary key and the unique key. First difference you can see, primary key is a unique and not null key which identify the record in a table uniquely. A table can have only one primary key. A candidate key is also a unique key to identify a record uniquely in a table, but a table can have multiple candidate keys. Second point, primary key column cannot have null value, but candidate key column, it can have null value. Yes, it is. Third point, primary key is most important part of any relation. Candidate key signifies as which key can be used as primary key. Next point, definitely primary key is a candidate key, but candidate key may or may not be a primary key. So difference is clear or not? Yes, it is. So normally whenever actually it comes to choosing a primary key, so we have to take care about the not null property also. We have to talk about not null property also. One scholar is asking, sir, foreign key is also called candidate key. Answer is absolutely no. Answer is absolutely no, because using foreign key, you cannot identify a record uniquely. Foreign key is used to join two or more tables. It is not used to identify a record uniquely. Next line, you can see the column in a candidate key are called prime attributes, and the column that do not occur in the candidate key, they are called non-prime attribute. So according to this principle, if I'm talking about employee table, and in the employee table, you know that we are having total 5 columns. Among the 5 columns, can we say that if we are talking about the employee ID, I'm talking about the email ID, and I'm talking about the mobile number. Can I say that all the 3 columns are going to be prime attributes? But if I'm talking about the remaining 2, they are going to be non-prime attribute. Please check on the chat. Please see my message on the chat and see the red background line. The line is that the column is a candidate key are called prime attributes. A column that does not occur in any candidate key is called non-prime attribute. So according to this principle, definitely employee ID, email ID, and mobile number, they are prime attribute. But if I'm talking about the name and the salary, then definitely this is non-prime attribute. Till that discussion is clear? Yes or no? Hurry up, everyone. Please be active on chat. Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. So now I'm talking about one more topic that is called functional dependency. But before talking about the functional dependency, I will tell you that if I'm talking about the normal forms, then definitely there are 3 normal forms available. Among the 3 normal forms, the first type of normal form is actually referred as the 1NF, that is called first normal form. Second is actually referred as the 2NF, that is called second normal form. And there is one more normal form available that is called 3NF, or this is referred as third normal form. So let us have a discussion about the first normal form. What exactly the concept of first normal form is? Just actually take a look at this table trainee. In the table trainee ID is the primary key. Trainee name is there. After the trainee name, one more thing is there. This is called hobbies. And if I'm talking about the hobbies, then can you see in the hobbies, there are multiple values. For the hobbies, can we see there are multiple values available for a single column? Yes or no? So keep in mind, keep in mind, keep in mind. In a normalized database, it is never assumed that your column is going to have multiple values, or simply we can say in a normalized database, every column's value should be atomic. Atomic means not further decomposable. Getting my point? Yes, it is. So can I say that right now, this is a unnormalized table? Yes or no? So if you wanted to see now what exactly the first normal form is saying, the first normal form is always saying the one thing that all the values in the column must be atomic values. What is the mean of atomic values? They must not be further decomposable or they should not be multi-valued. So for this thing, there are two possible approaches. First approach, can we actually create separate record for each multi-valued? Yes or no? This is first solution. Yes, it is. And definitely this solution, generally, I do not like. Yes, every column should have a single value, Prathamesh. Every column should have a single value that is not further decomposable. Look at the second point. And the second point, another way is, definitely can we create a separate table? Please take a look. Such that one table is trainee. In the trainee table, trainee ID and name is available. In the second table, hobbies. Can you see trainee ID and subject is, or trainee ID and hobby is maintained? And using the hobby, one can easily identify that Joseph is having travel and music as hobby. Roshes is having reading and surfing as hobby. So don't you think that second approach is somewhat better? Yes or no? So simple logic, whenever in your table, listen to me very, very carefully. In your table, whenever every column is having single value or its value is not further decomposable, then we used to say that your database is in the first normal form or your table is in the first normal form. Is that okay? What is the meaning of first normal form is? Everyone, please respond. Very simple. I'm saying normalization is a simple topic. Just pay attention. So whenever a table, for a table, every column is having a single value, the value is not further decomposable, then such kind of table is said to be in the first normal form. So right now you can see that this table is in the first normal form. When we have decomposed, then definitely both tables are already in the first normal form. This is the first pointer that actually we have done. Now, let me talk about the next normal form. The next normal form is actually called the second normal form. But before talking about the second normal form, I have to talk to you about one very important topic that is called functional dependency. Before talking about functional dependency, did you remember that table is referred as relation in database? I told you that terminology day one. Relation, tuple, attribute, degree, cardinality, domain. Remember? Okay. So say what it is saying. Say in a relation R, we have two attributes that are A and B. The attribute B is said to be functionally dependent on attribute A if B can be uniquely identified using value of A, or we can say that for each value of A is associated with exactly one value of B. Repeating again, in a relation R, we have two attributes that are A and B. The attribute B is said to be functionally dependent on attribute A if B can be uniquely identified using value of A, or we can say that each value of A is associated with exactly one value of B. So directly look at the example. Can I say that using the roll number student can be identified uniquely? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Definitely. So here actually, can I say that a student name is functionally dependent on roll number? Because for every roll number, exactly a student can be identified uniquely. Yes or no? Same thing is applicable for taxpayer detail. Taxpayer detail is functionally dependent on the PAN number. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So overall, first pointer is clear. Functional dependency is all about identifying. So whenever for a column A or using every value of column A, if you can uniquely identify column B, or every value of column A is associated with exactly one value of column B, then we used to say that this is called functional dependency. So meaning of functional dependency is clear. Yes, it is. And functional dependency is of two types. The first type of functional dependency is referred as the full functional dependency. The second type of functional dependency is referred as the partial functional dependency. Now, what is the mean of full functional dependency? So see here, a candidate key or a primary key. It can be made from multiple columns. Yes or no? Simple it is. So whenever I am talking about full and partial functional dependency, so normally I am talking about the composite keys. Normally I am talking about the composite keys. So listen to me very, very carefully. If X and Y, I'm talking about full functional dependency. If X and Y are attributes set in a relation, Y is fully functionally dependent on X if Y is functionally dependent on X, not on any proper subset of X. Language is looking complicated. Just let me simplify it. Can you see this example that three attributes A, B, and C together they are identifying D? Yes or no? Three columns are there, A, B, and C. Combination of A, B, and C is uniquely identifying a D. Now, if I'm talking about the subset of combination A, B, C, then definitely A is the subset, B is the subset, C is the subset. A, B is subset, B, C is subset, C, A is subset. Yes or no? Now again, see what exactly full functional dependency is saying. Full functional dependency is saying that if X and Y are attribute in a relation, Y is fully functionally dependent on X. If Y is functionally dependent on X, not on any proper subset of X. According to this principle, using only A, you must not be able to identify D. Yes or no? Look at the definition. Using only B, again, you will not be able to identify B. Using only C, you will not be able to identify D. Using AB together, you will not be able to identify D. Using B and C together, you will not be able to identify. Using C and A together, you will not be able to identify. Yes or no? So overall, like we have taken the example, I am having 10-year records of the CBSE examination, and there if I'm talking about the combination of roll number and session number, then definitely roll number and session number both are required to uniquely identify a scholar. So can I say this is the case of full functional dependency? Yes, it is. But if you are doing the same mistake, let's say for 1 year record, for example, I am saying you that I am having the record of session number 2022-23. If I am already having the record of only one session, and at that time, if I'm saying you that roll number and session number, collectively this is working as a candidate key, then definitely you will say, sir, you are wrong, because roll number only we can identify every scholar. Yes or no? So in this condition, your candidate key will be roll number only, not the combination of roll number and session number. Getting my point? Because candidate key is the minimum set of columns that are used to identify a record uniquely. Let us go for the next case. Next case is just opposite. It is partial dependency. What exactly the partial dependency is saying? Again, try to understand. Using the A, B, and C, combination of A, B, and C, we are trying to identify D, or D is uniquely identified. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Now listen. For partial dependency, any of the following should be true. Means either using A, you should be able to identify D. Either using B, you should be able to identify D. Either using C, you should be able to identify D. Overall, this is not the case of full functional dependency, because using any subset, you will be able to identify D uniquely. So this is the case of partial functional dependency. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Perfect. So this is actually what partial dependency is. Now, what exactly the mean of 2NF is? 2NF says, first of all, see, there is a standard rule. Whenever we are talking about the second normal form, For the second normal form, your table must be in the first normal form. For the third normal form, your table must be in the second normal form. So for the 2NF, the table must be in the 1NF. Is that clear? Second point, there should be no partial dependency. Third point, we have to decompose the table again to remove the partial dependency. We have to remove the table again. So let us come back again. If I'm talking about the table, you can see that there is one table available, order. In the table order, product ID is there, customer ID is there, order date is there, and price is there. Using the combination of product ID and customer ID, we can identify order date uniquely. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. Using the product ID only, I can identify a price. Yes or no? So problem it is. Case of partial dependency. Yes, it is. Okay, so this time what to do? Again, decompose the table, because product ID is the column that is creating problem. So do one thing, product ID, customer ID, and order date, it should be in the one table. Then product ID and price, it should be in the second table. Now, please check, are you able to spot any case of partial dependency? Now there is no case of partial dependency. So simple logic, whatever column that is creating problem, create a separate table, put that column and its dependent attribute into the another table. Clear or not? Just simple one. Again, break. Finally, going to the next part, I'm talking about, there are four more examples available. They are already available in your notes. Please refer to them. Well, can I take 5 or 6 minutes extra? Because hardly I am having just a bit of discussion. Today it is Saturday, that's why I'm asking. Now, 2NF is done. Finally, for the 3NF, there is one more thing available, that is called transitive dependency. Third thing I'm writing is, it is transitive dependency. What is the mean of transitive dependency? Simple logic. A is the brother of B. B is the brother of C. All three are male. Repeating again, A is the brother of B. B is the brother of C. All three are male. So can I say that A is also brother of B, brother of C? Yes, it is. Now come back to the transitive dependency. What exactly transitive functional dependency is saying? See, in transitive functional dependency, dependent is indirectly dependent on the determinant, i.e., if A is used to identify B, so if A is used to identify B, then can I say that A is the prime attribute, but B is the non-prime attribute? Yes or no? If A is determining B, then definitely I will say that, sir, A is actually prime attribute, but B is the non-prime attribute. Next thing, if I'm talking about B is also identifying C, so don't you think that using the non-prime attribute, we are talking about identifying a column? Yes, it is. So according to this principle, if A is uniquely identifying B and B is uniquely identifying C, then definitely A should be able to identify C also. Yes or no? Yes, it is. But now just try to understand one more thing. Here actually you can find, using A you are determining B, perfect. Using B you are determining C, this is problematic, because using the non-prime attribute you are identifying something which is not according to the definition of database, because for identification prime attribute should be used. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So for the AROC, this is called actually transitive functional dependency. And what exactly 3NF is saying? 3NF is saying that your table must be in the 2NF. Second thing, there must not be any transitive dependency, and you have to further decompose the table to create such kind of thing. So this time, again, take a look at the example. There is one relation available. The name of the relation is called score. Score ID is there. Student ID is there. Subject ID is there. Marks is there. Exam name is there. And maximum marks is there. Just simple logic. Using the combination of score ID and student ID. Using the combination of score ID and student ID. Can I identify exam name? Yes or no? Using the student ID and subject ID, can I identify exam name? Yes. But the problem is that here accordingly, student ID and subject ID both are the prime attribute. Exam name is the non-prime attribute, but using the exam name, definitely I will be able to spot the maximum marks. So can I say this is again turning problematic? Using the non-prime attribute, we are identifying a prime attribute. Yes or no? And according to this principle, can I say that using the student ID and the subject ID, we are already able to identify maximum marks? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Simple logic. What I told you. If I'm talking about the transitive dependency, then for the transitive dependency, please read this line very, very carefully who are confused. What I'm saying, relation is available. In the relation, you can say that using the student ID and subject ID, we are finding exam name. Yes or no? So using A, I am identifying B. Is that clear? Using A, I am finding B. Is that clear? Yes, it is. But can you see that using B, I am able to find some other information also, which is not okay, because non-prime attribute must not be capable to identify something uniquely. Yes, it is. According to this combination, you will say, sir, using the student ID and subject ID, we should be able to identify maximum marks. Yes or no? So this is the case of transitive dependency, and whenever there is a case of transitive dependency, so can we say that your table is not in the 3NF? Can we say the table is not in the 3NF? And if you wanted to make the table in the 3NF, again, same solution, decompose the table. So if you wanted to decompose the table, then you can see one thing, that this time I have done one thing. Actually, the problem is due to these two columns. The problem is because due to these two columns, so better to actually break the table again, create another table, put B and C together into the next table. Is that okay? Now there is no case of transitive dependency. So you can see as the level of normalization increases, can we say that, sir, actually the number of tables also increases and complexity also? Yes or no? Yes, it is. But definitely normalization is overall beneficial because you are getting exact data. Normalization is completed. Actually, one PPT, one slide is getting deleted. I will upload the PPT again in the day number 12. Please download the PPT again by 4 p.m. today. And today I will provide you that content also. But before finishing, just one or two useful things for you that some of you were demanding on chat. For example, you can see that how many records I am having right now. 10 records I am having. Let's say that if I wanted to find only 2 records. So can you see? I am able to get only the first 2 records using limit clause. Yes, it is. See next time what I'm writing 2, 2. Can you see I am getting next 2 records? Now, if I'm writing, let's say that 9, 2, how many records I am getting? Only one. So can I say that after limit, actually, I have to write down the two numbers. The first number is going to be the starting point and second number is going to be the total number of records. Yes or no? The first is going to be the starting point and second is going to be the total number of records. Have you seen paging? Like in the Google, whenever you are searching something, then at the bottom, GOOOL, page number 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. There actually limit query is useful. There actually limit query is useful. Okay, this was the first thing, pagination. Yes. Okay, one scholar was asking, sir, can you give us the example of composite primary key? So just I am writing one simple table for you. For example, let's say that I am writing here, create table, CBSE student bracket open. First thing I am writing is roll number. Let's say I am giving it integer. Second I am writing is session underscore number. For example, let's say I am writing varchar and length I am providing is 10. Third I'm writing is name. Again, I'm writing here varchar, size I'm writing, it's going to be 20. Now, I wanted to make composite primary key. Then definitely to create the composite primary key, what exactly I'm writing? I'm writing here constraint, after constraint primary key, bracket open. Then I'm writing roll number and the session number together, bracket open, semicolon, and then DESC, CBSE underscore student semicolon. So how to create composite primary key? Is that okay? Because one scholar demanded, that's why specifically I am mentioning this point. Okay. Last but not the least, for example, let's say, because such kind of question you will find in your exam. Let's say if I'm talking about the first table, that is select star from category, and next I'm writing select star from product. Two tables are there. If I wanted to find out the data from both the tables, then can I use join operation? Yes or no? Along with the join operation, can I use group by also? Along with the join operation, can I use group by also? Because for example, let's say if I'm saying you that you wanted to print the category name and counting of the product for that category. Query is you wanted to print category name. Along with the category name, you need to print counting of product for that category. So definitely category name is available from the category table, but counting is available from the product table. So definitely you have to use join. And apart from using the join, you have to use group by also. Getting or not? Such kind of questions are very common in every examination, whether it is going to be your exam on CP platform or it is going to be your placement. Such kind of questions are very common. Always keep in mind, in SQL, you can mix up join, subquery, group by, transaction, etc. Any combination can be possible. You have to be good in SQL. Yes or no? Getting? Yes, it is. Shall I write down one demo query or you will manage it? I think you will manage, right? Okay. So overall, the query that I need to write down in this condition, first of all, from table name. First table name I am writing is category. Let's say I am writing C. Then I am writing here inner join. Definitely inner join I will do on the product. Then here I am writing P. On, in the on we need to write down that C dot category underscore ID cat underscore ID equal to, then again P dot cat underscore ID. This is where actually join operation is going to be performed. What exactly I wanted to have? I wanted to have the category name. This is going to be cat name. Thereafter, I wanted to have the count star also, means how many products are available there. How actually I have to perform the group by? Definitely the group by has to be performed on the category underscore name. So this is one query I have written. Let me copy this query. I am coming here and pasting this query, hitting enter. So can you see result is available for you? Yes, it is. So this kind of query you will find in your exam. So please keep practicing, do the assignment. That's all from my side for today. Anand, feedback link, please. Meanwhile, if anybody wanted to ask anything, then your doubts are welcome. And thanks for bothering for 10 minutes.
Sir, actually, Anand is not here, and he did not
Okay.
even inform me.
Might be possible because he is facing too much network issue nowadays. He is actually busy somewhere. Just a minute. I am having access. Just a minute. Copy. Yes, everyone. You are requested to fill the feedback form. All content will be provided to you before 4 p.m. How many questions will be on CP platform in evaluation? There will be 20 questions. There will be 20 questions. 18 or 20 questions will be, I think. Sir,
This call is
we are
for
having
us.
quiz in this evaluation. No, there is no quiz. No MCQ based quiz is there. Actually, in the last time, batch performs unfortunately too worst. Now I am not having any capability to give you quiz because actually average marks were around some 50%. Sir, we are giving feedback 2 times on LMS and on the Google form. On the Google form, I think you are giving feedback, and on the LMS, there is quiz only, I think. Well, everyone, fill the feedback form. Fill the feedback form. SQL is completed. Thanks for your additional 10 minutes. Stopping the recording.